The moon hung low in the night sky, casting an eerie pallor over the Victorian mansion that loomed atop the hill. Ivy-clad and weather-worn, the mansion stood as a sinister sentinel, its dark windows like soulless eyes, and its ornate iron gates creaked with a mournful sigh. Shadows danced in sinister choreography upon the crumbling walls, as if the very walls themselves whispered dreadful secrets. In the heart of Victorian England, a land of corsets and candlelight, tales of the mansion had long haunted the village of Ravenswood. The townsfolk whispered of the mansion's cursed history, of the tragic family who once dwelled within, and the ghastly night that had sealed their fate. It was said that a storm had raged on the night of the fateful incident, thunder clapping like the angry fists of an otherworldly presence. A family of 5, the Allertons, had sought refuge in the mansion, seeking shelter from the tempestuous night. They were a prosperous family, their fortune derived from mysterious dealings and whispered pacts with the unknown. As the storm raged on, the family settled in the opulent parlor, surrounded by dark wood paneling and portraits of long-dead ancestors. A fire crackled in the hearth, casting flickering shadows that seemed to mimic the anguished expressions of the painted faces that adorned the walls. But as the hours passed, an unsettling feeling settled over the Allertons. The once warm and inviting mansion grew cold and foreboding. The fire's warmth no longer reached them, and a chill crawled up their spines. The youngest Allerton, a wide-eyed boy of 10, claimed to have seen a figure standing in the shadows, a figure that whispered words of doom. Ignoring the boy's trembling words, the family tried to maintain an air of normalcy, seeking solace in the flickering candles that lined the room. But their unease only deepened as strange occurrences became more frequent. Doors slammed shut with a deafening force, and footsteps echoed through empty corridors. In the dead of night, the family gathered in the master bedroom, seeking safety in numbers. But as they huddled together, a haunting melody began to play, a ghostly piano, untouched by human hands. The keys danced of their own accord, producing an otherworldly tune that seemed to beckon them to their doom. Desperation gripped the Allertons as the night wore on. They were trapped in a nightmare of their own making, a mansion that refused to release its prey. Shadows grew darker, and whispers grew louder until the family was driven to the brink of madness. In the hours just before dawn, the patriarch, Mr. Allerton, made a fateful decision. He would confront the malevolent force that plagued them, whatever it might be. Armed with a flickering candlestick, he ventured into the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, his heart pounding in his chest. As he traversed the darkened halls, he heard the agonized cries of his family echoing through the mansion. Each cry was filled with terror and despair, and they spurred him forward, determination outweighing fear. Finally, Mr. Allerton came upon the mansion's grand library, a room that had once been a sanctuary of knowledge and solitude. But now, it had been transformed into a chamber of horrors. Books flew from their shelves, their pages filled with malevolent laughter. The room seemed to breathe with a sinister life of its own. In the center of the library, a spectral figure materialized, a woman in a tattered Victorian gown, her face obscured by shadows. She floated towards Mr. Allerton, her eyes blazing with a malevolence that pierced his very soul. "You should not have come here," she hissed, her voice a cold, mournful wind. "This mansion is cursed, as are those who dare to seek refuge within its walls." Mr. Allerton stood his ground, his candlestick trembling in his hand. "Release my family," he demanded, his voice quivering with both fear and determination. The specter's laughter filled the room, a chilling sound that echoed in the chamber's darkness. "Your family is already lost," she whispered, her form shifting and contorting. "They are mine now, just as you shall be." With that, the specter lunged at Mr. Allerton, her ghostly hands reaching for his throat. He swung the candlestick with all his might, the flames casting an otherworldly glow on her ethereal form. The specter wailed in agony, dissipating into a swirling vortex of darkness that engulfed the entire library. As the first rays of dawn broke through the mansion's windows, the darkness receded, and the mansion fell silent once more. Mr. Allerton was left alone, his family gone, their fate sealed within the cursed mansion. The Victorian mansion on the hill of Ravenswood stood as a testament to the horrors that lurked in the shadows of the past. It remained empty and abandoned, a place of dread and despair, where the spirits of the Allertons and the malevolent spectre continued to haunt its haunted halls. The villagers of Ravenswood learned to avoid the mansion, for those who entered never returned, their souls forever lost to the darkness that dwelled within. Years passed, and the Victorian mansion atop the hill of Ravenswood became even more shrouded in mystery. Its story was passed down through generations, a chilling tale of a family consumed by the malevolent force that dwelled within. The villagers dared not speak of it openly, for fear that the mansion's curse might extend its reach to those who dared utter its name. However, curiosity and the lure of the unknown have a way of drawing brave souls to places they should avoid. Among the villagers was a young woman named Eliza, known for her determination and fearless spirit. She had heard the legends of the mansion since she was a child, and as she grew older, her curiosity about the mansion grew stronger. One moonless night, when the sky was a vast canvas of darkness, Eliza decided to embark on a journey to uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long. Armed with nothing but a lantern and a resolve that burned like a beacon in her heart, she made her way to the foreboding hill. As she approached the mansion's iron gates, she couldn't help but shiver, sensing the weight of history that clung to the rusted metal. Ignoring the ominous creaking of the gates, she entered the overgrown path leading to the mansion, her lantern casting eerie shadows that danced around her like phantom wraiths. The mansion, though foreboding, held a strange allure, its dark windows now reflecting the dim light of her lantern. Eliza cautiously pushed open the massive oak door that had once welcomed the ill-fated Allerton family. It groaned in protest, as if warning her to turn back, but her resolve held firm. Inside, the mansion felt colder than the darkest depths of winter, and the air was thick with a sense of impending doom. Eliza moved cautiously through the dimly lit corridors, her footsteps echoing like whispers in the empty halls. She began to notice peculiar things, a faint, haunting melody that hung in the air, and the inexplicable sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. The portraits on the walls seemed to follow her every move, their painted gazes filled with sorrow and longing. Eliza's exploration led her to the grand library, the very room where Mr. Allerton had confronted the malevolent spectre years ago. The room was now shrouded in a silence that seemed to reverberate with an ancient sadness. As her lantern's light flickered, a voice whispered from the darkness. "You should not have come here," it hissed, sending a chill down Eliza's spine. Turning toward the source of the voice, Eliza saw a shadowy figure materializing in the center of the room. It was the same spectre that had tormented the Allerton family, the cursed soul of the mansion itself. Undeterred, Eliza steadied her trembling lantern and confronted the spectre. "What happened to the Allertons?" she demanded, her voice trembling but resolute. The spectre's form shifted and writhed, its voice a mournful wail. "They are trapped in the darkness, as I am," it replied. "The mansion feeds on their fear and despair, binding their souls to its cursed halls." Eliza felt a pang of empathy for the trapped souls, but her determination remained unshaken. "I won't let this curse continue," she declared. "I'll find a way to break it and release the Allertons, including your tormented spirit." The spectre's laughter echoed through the library, a sound that seemed to transcend time itself. "You are brave, young one," it said. "But the mansion's curse is strong, and its hold on me is unbreakable." Undeterred, Eliza approached the spectre, her lantern held high. "Then I will confront the darkness head-on," she said, her voice filled with unwavering resolve. "I will face whatever horrors dwell within this mansion and put an end to its reign of terror." The spectre watched in silence as Eliza left the library, her lantern casting long shadows that flickered and danced on the walls. With each step she took, the mansion seemed to respond, its malevolent presence growing stronger and more menacing. Little did Eliza know that her journey had only just begun, and the true horrors that awaited her within the cursed Victorian mansion were beyond her wildest imagination. The spirits of the Allertons and the malevolent spectre would not relinquish their hold easily, and the mansion's dark secrets were destined to be revealed in ways that would chill the hearts of even the bravest souls who dared to tread its haunted halls. Eliza's determination to confront the malevolent forces within the Victorian mansion only grew stronger as she ventured deeper into its cursed halls. The mansion seemed to respond to her presence with increased malevolence, with the very walls groaning and the shadows taking on nightmarish shapes. As Eliza explored further, she discovered hidden chambers that held clues to the mansion's dark history. In a dusty attic filled with forgotten relics, she found journals written by the Allerton family, detailing their descent into madness as they battled the insidious entity that had trapped them. The journals spoke of secret rituals performed by the family in a desperate attempt to break the curse. They hinted at a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, where the malevolent spirit was said to be most vulnerable. With newfound hope, Eliza resolved to find this chamber and confront the entity head-on. Guided by the cryptic writings, Eliza descended into the mansion's depths, navigating a labyrinthine maze of hidden passages and long-forgotten corridors. The air grew heavier with each step, and the sense of impending doom was palpable. Finally, Eliza reached the heart of the mansion, a chamber unlike any other. In its center stood a spectral piano, its keys gleaming with an otherworldly light. It was here that the malevolent entity had taken its most tangible form. The spectre materialized before her, its face contorted in a twisted expression of rage and despair. "You cannot banish me," it hissed, its voice a chorus of tormented souls. Eliza raised her lantern high, its flame burning with an unwavering resolve. "I know your secret," she declared. "I know what binds you to this place." The spectre's eyes widened in a mixture of fear and curiosity. "What do you mean?" Eliza explained that she had read the Allerton family's journals and discovered the truth: the entity had been summoned into the mansion through a dark and forbidden ritual. It was a creature born of fear and despair, sustained by the suffering of those who entered its domain. With each revelation, the spectre's form flickered and waned, its power weakening. "You speak the truth," it admitted, its voice trembling. "But how can you break the curse?" Eliza knew that the only way to free the trapped souls and banish the malevolent entity was to undo the ritual that had brought it into existence. She searched the chamber for clues and found an ancient book hidden in the shadows. The book contained the incantations and symbols necessary to perform the counter-ritual, a dangerous and perilous endeavor. With unwavering determination, Eliza began the counter-ritual, her voice resonating with both fear and hope. As she chanted the incantations and traced the symbols in the air, the mansion itself seemed to rebel, shaking with fury and unleashing a torrent of supernatural forces. But Eliza pressed on, her willpower and belief in the power of goodness stronger than the darkness that surrounded her. With a final incantation, the malevolent entity let out a deafening scream, its form dissipating into a swirling vortex of blackness. The mansion itself seemed to shudder and quake, as if it was shedding its dark history. The curse was broken. In the following days, the villagers of Ravenswood watched in awe as the once foreboding mansion on the hill underwent a remarkable transformation. Ivy withered away, revealing the mansion's grandeur beneath. The windows, once dark and soulless, now gleamed with light. Birds sang in the garden, and a sense of peace settled over the hill. Eliza emerged from the mansion, her lantern extinguished but her spirit burning brightly. She had freed the trapped souls of the Allerton family and banished the malevolent entity, earning the gratitude and admiration of the entire village. The mansion, no longer haunted, found new purpose as a place of refuge and healing. It was transformed into an orphanage, where children found love and care, far removed from the horrors of its past. As for Eliza, she became a beloved figure in Ravenswood, a symbol of courage and resilience. She had faced the darkest of forces and emerged victorious, proving that even the most malevolent of curses could be broken by the power of love, determination, and a belief in the light that can shine in the darkest of places. And so, the Victorian mansion on the hill of Ravenswood, once a place of dread and despair, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dare to confront the unknown and emerge triumphant. The tale of its redemption echoed through the generations, a story of darkness vanquished, and a legacy of courage that would never be forgotten.